Hello and welcome to Real Estate Daily Magazine, the podcast. I'm Frank Garay, and I'm here with a really good friend of mine, Asa Murray, out in Atlanta, Georgia. How you doing, Asa?
I'm doing great. How you doing, Frank?
Man, I'm doing good. Thanks for asking. I wanted to. I felt it was important for you and I to do this podcast because you and I have known each other a long time. I know how you operate, and being the host of Real Estate Daily Magazine and being Frank Garay with all these other things I do. Man, I'm connected to a whole lot of real estate agents across the whole country. And in the Atlanta, Georgia area, what I hear all the time from agents is that they get so frustrated with their loan officers, Asa, because they never hear from them, right? Like they send them a lead and 4 days later, they got to call them up and go, hey, whatever happened to that lead? Or even worse, the worst one that I hear from agents is when it's an active transaction, right? There's a loan officer on the deal, but they never hear from the loan. The only way that they hear from the loan officer is if they reach out and they call to find out what's going on, how things are going. But, I've known you for a long time, and I know you don't operate that way at all. What you do is amazing. So I was hoping we could just clear the air as far as you're concerned, right? How you interact with agents, how you communicate and update. What's your process to keeping agents updated?
Well, Frank, one of the things that I hear all the time from agents is that one of the biggest frustrations they have with their loan officers is that they don't communicate and keep them in the circle of what's going on.
Yeah.
And so that's the last thing I want to have a bad relationship with an agent for.
Yeah.
Because I don't at least give them a phone call and keep them informed of what's happening. So like I've got a regimen of things that I do. Like on Mondays, I check in with them to see, if they've got any leads, of course.
Yeah.
And then when we go into contract, we call everybody every Tuesday to let them know what's going on.
Wow.
We're set up to have a smooth and flawless closing, and that's how it is 99% of the time.
Are you telling me that you've got it? So what you're saying is you follow an actual plan, right? Like you've got it in the calendar, like Mondays. I'm checking in with all my agents just to see how the weekend went, see if they got any deals they need help with, that kind of a thing.
Right.
Tuesdays, you're calling on active transactions, and you're calling like everybody in the transaction
in the transaction. If I got two buyers, I'm calling both of the buyers and checking in on them, keeping them abreast of everything. Calling the listing agent, I'm calling the buyer's agent, I'm calling the closing attorney's office. Just checking in, getting everybody updates, keeping them in the loop. Because who wants to be in the dark when you're dealing with a home purchase?
Man,
So,
I got to tell you, Asa, I know that kind of communication, even just those two things alone, are Monday just checking in, seeing how's it going, and seeing if you need any help with anything. But that Tuesday call that you're talking about, that is massive, man. Like if you do that which you do, I know you do. That's why I had you on the podcast, because I know you do this every single Tuesday. What kind of response do you get from people because of that? That must be just amazing.
well, they love it because especially the closing attorneys, because they never get calls.
Yeah.
What's happening? And insurance companies, insurance agents as well. They never get called.
Yeah.
They're trying to find out what's happening too. So
Yeah.
this just eliminates the frustration.
It really does. That's really cool. What else? Why not do? And keep going. But I think is there more? But
Yeah,
wait, there's more.
yeah, and before they're under contract, I call up the buyers every Thursday and talk to them, get them excited about going out and looking at homes and putting in an offer, of course.
Mm.
Give them an idea of, well, I want them to share with me what they want in their home, how their life is going to be in their home. They have a swimming pool so they can play out there with the kids,
Uh,
having barbecues and family gatherings. I try to help them see themselves in the home so that they're really ready to go put in an offer
yeah.
when you find that house, and they're not afraid to pull the trigger because sometimes they get a little gunshot.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
do
Right.
that. And let's say even and after they close, we
Mm.
stay in touch with them.
Mm.
We call them quarterly just to check in and see how
Yeah.
things
Yeah.
are. Call them annually to do
Yeah.
a mortgage review to make sure that their escrows are set up right, that they're not overpaying on their homeowners insurance or underfunding their escrow account.
Yeah.
We just check in to make sure that they're doing all right. And And for the benefit of our agents, I'm always asking my past customers if they know of anybody else who's thinking about buying or selling or refinancing, so I can get them pre-approved and turn them right back over to the agent that initially introduced me to them.
Wow, that is
Just like my
awesome.
mom used to always say, one hand washes the other. So
Yeah.
when it comes to working with agents, I want to be able to give them a referral back.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
if I can do that every transaction, I consider myself a success.
That is awesome. That is awesome. That's why I wanted to have you here because I knew that you had a system. I knew that you had a regimented thing you did every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
Mhm.
And so I just thought it would be really important for the real estate people that I know, my friends out there in the Atlanta, Georgia area, that there is a guy named Asa Murray with Success Mortgage Partners who does communicate, who
Absolutely.
does update, who does ask for referrals to send back. It's real. It's not a fantasy. You're like a unicorn, Asa. You know that?
I've heard that, and to tell you the truth, like my team in the last, say, 12 months, we've probably turned about over $300,000 in real estate commissions back over to our referral partner agents.
Wow.
So they appreciate that.
It's
Every
that. It,
$300,000 helps, right?
yeah, it does. It's that combination of what you're doing is that I think is so remarkable. It's this combination of you're engaging with the clients that you get referred to, right? You get clients referred to you, right?
Hmm.
You get them pre-approved, and you're continually like asking them, don't forget if you know anybody else, right? That's basically
Hmm.
what you're doing. So,
Right.
and you know what they always say? It's during the active transaction is the best time to ask for the referral because the buyers, they're talking to everybody they know about what they're
Hmm.
doing. And so
All the time.
they're having conversations. So if you're in their head going, hey, if you come across anybody who's thinking about it, let me know. They're gonna say, oh, you should talk to my loan guy, Asa. And so they refer to you, you can pre-approve them and then send them right back to the agent that referred you, the
That's
original
exactly
couple.
how it works.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
So that's pretty cool. And I love the fact too that you're saying on Thursdays, that's your I those are pre-approved and those are the people that are
They're
pre-approved but aren't,
pre-approved and they're
they're
looking
not
for
in
help.
contract yet, right?
Right.
So you're just staying in touch with those guys too because a lot of those guys can get lost, and I bet there's agents that are listening right now or watching that go,
Mhm.
I have had that happen I've had a buyer, they were pre-approved but they couldn't find anything, and time has gone by, the next thing you know, oh my god, they wound up with somebody else.
Mhm.
And the reason that happens is because there's no staying in touch. There's no contact, and they just wind up
Mhm.
talking to somebody else because they are looking to buy. And then
Mhm.
next thing you know, they get sucked up into some other, somebody else's clutches. That's why what you do on Thursdays is so important
I just
because,
recently had a buyer tell me that, man, I haven't talked to my real estate agent in a while, but I hear from you all the time.
oh, really?
I've never had this kind of treatment before from a lender,
Wow.
and so I was like the glue to hold that relationship together. I said, well,
Right.
I had to make a few excuses for the agent, but we
Yeah.
we kept the deal together.
And that also just makes me think if for any agents that are watching this right now, if you work with Asa, you got to understand he's going to be making them calls. But so you might want to be making those calls too. You know what I mean? I mean, he's doing his part to try and not only keep the deal together and keep them in the family as it is, between, you and Asa, but he's also trying to pull more out of them, see if there's other deals
Mhm.
in there. So it's a smart thing to do. I think a lot of it I think a lot of agents could learn from what you do because what you do is just really good, solid, basic sales, which is just staying in touch and asking for the business and not letting that drop and not letting that fall through the cracks. And if more agents picked up on that and learned from you, even through transactions that they do with you, that they could get better at it. They could get better at it too because they can see you by example what you do, and then they could get better at it. And then that would be just fire at that point. If they're working it like that, you're working it like that. I love that phrase. One hand washes the other, baby. You know what I mean? And that's how it
You know,
goes.
Frank, too, another thing, you know, I like to develop relationships with my clients. I mean, I get to meet, I'm in the kind of profession I get to meet really cool people,
Yeah.
and I get to experience helping them obtain the dream of home ownership.
Yeah.
Either first time homeowner or buying up to their forever home.
Yeah.
That's great. There's nothing more fun than to be able to see the excitement in somebody's eyes when at the closing table
Heck
and they
yeah.
get those keys. I mean, it's
Of course.
like birthing a child.
Yeah.
It's there's no greater
It's
time.
wonderful. It really
Hmm.
is.
Hmm.
Yeah. Well, Asa, let me ask you this, man. If there's an agent in the Georgia area, in Atlanta, just the whole state of Georgia, you can do anywhere in Georgia, obviously, but
Hmm.
any other states you in? I don't know if you're in any other states.
Presently, I've been licensed in as many as 19 states, but right now
Yeah,
I'm only in Georgia.
Georgia. So if I'm an agent and I'm in Georgia and I'm listening to you, and I'm thinking that's my guy. Like I need that communication. I want that kind of follow up. I'd love to receive some referrals back because he's consistent to ask for them. What's the best way for them to reach you? What's the best way?
They can give me a call. My phone number is 678-449-0331.
Okay, great. And what I'll do for y'all that are watching or listening, I'll put Asa's contact information. If you're watching us on the magazine itself, Real Estate Daily Magazine, his contact information is right down below on the magazine. But if you're watching this on YouTube, then in the description, Asa's contact information will be in the description, so you can reach out to Asa. He said his number, but if you didn't quite get it, you can just always look. It's down there. We'll put his email down there for you too, so you can reach out to him. Well, Asa, thanks for being on the show. I really appreciate you doing this because, like I said, I know I've got a bunch of agent friends, and this is one of their biggest complaints. Is that they don't. But they don't get communicated with. I'm like, well, I know a guy who communicates like crazy. Like I know a guy who won't let you down in that department. Right. So that's why I wanted to get you on here and do that. So I really appreciate you being on the podcast, man. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Frank. I really enjoyed being on here with you. Anytime.
Well, I'll take you up on that. I'd like to get you back again and again because you got a lot of things to talk about. God, I know you're one of the leading VA experts out there. I know you've got all kinds of cool stuff going on that, I think that a lot of the agents should know about. So we'll come back. We'll get you back again. Okay. Sound good?
Frank, I've been writing loans for 27 years.
You got a little experience there.
Yeah, got a few things figured out.
You've seen a thing or two.
Yeah.
Asa Murray from Success Mortgage Partners. Thank you, Asa. Appreciate it. And for those of you watching, do us a favor, forward, share, subscribe, and get a hold of Asa. If you're in the Georgia area, you're a real estate agent, you need some help, or if you're a consumer, if you're just somebody looking to buy a home and you happen to come across this, and you want an amazing originator, get a hold of Asa. Contact information is down below on the magazine or in the description on YouTube. We'll catch up with you all later. See you. Bye-bye. See you, Asa.
Thanks, Ray.